Hey guys, what is up? It is Noel, and welcome back to another video today. So today we're going to be doing my top 10 favorite AFK activities on the game. I love AFKing. I do it a lot while editing videos, watching movies, just so I can get some progress in the background. So today I want to share my top 10 favorite things to do when AFKing. It's not going to be in any order. No one method is going to be my absolute favorite or best. Starting it off with cooking, probably the skill I AFK the most. I definitely have the most experience in the cooking skill. Now, cooking is a very simple skill where all you have to do is cook raw food into cooked food, and that's pretty much the entire skill. It's very AFK, and if you complete Dragon Slayer 2, you get access to the Myths Guild, and you have a cooking range right beside a bank, which just makes it super convenient. Whenever I'm on my computer, I'm trying to at least log in and at least do some cooking in the background. One of my favorite methods for sure of AFKing. I've planned to one day go for 200 million experience in cooking just because it's super easy and it's actually very fast experience and profitable. Pretty much you can make money with almost every single fish in the game. Now the next one is going to be fishing, probably the thing I tend to do second most on this list for AFKing. Once you complete the quest, the TI1I trio, you can eventually fish Cannonballs. Now that's super AFK. I love this location so much because it never moves, and you can double the AFKness by getting the fish barrel from Temporis, and banking is super easy. The reason I go to this second is because there is still banking involved, but the trips and the amount of time you can AFK is just amazing. You could literally be doing raids on another account, watching a movie, doing whatever you want to do on this side. So yeah, definitely fishing is a good one to do. Cannonballs aren't the most experience per hour, but you can definitely make a decent amount of money here and just get yourself some passive fishing experience. I don't have too much fishing experience. I'm up to 17 million, but I've gained about 4 to 5 million experience just sitting here at the Cannonballs and fished well over 150,000 of them. Definitely a great spot to AFK. Now the next AFK activity would definitely be woodcutting. I AFK'd woodcutting pretty much from level 1 to 99, but once you get level 60, you get access to yew trees where it becomes pretty AFK and you can make a decent amount of money off of chopping yew trees. Once you get yourself to level 90 woodcutting, however, it becomes extremely AFK and one of the best methods to do on another monitor or while watching a movie or something like that. Redwoods are just absolutely insane, and since the bank is fairly close, it can be pretty damn enjoyable and profitable. Really good way to get yourself a woodcutting pet if you do want one of those. Yeah, it's very chill here and relaxed, and you can just get some pretty decent XP all the way up to like 60 to 70,000 experience per hour at Redwoods. So the XP is not even really too bad as well. Okay, so the next one on the list is smithing. Now, smithing isn't the most AFK thing in the world, but as an Ironman, you need to make a lot of dart tips. So honestly, making dart tips can be extremely AFK. You also have like an option of cannonballs, which is like 5 minutes of AFK, but I did a ton of smithing the dart tips back when I was going for, 99 smithing and also needing dart tips to fund my blowpipe. This can kind of be like knocking 2 birds down with 1 stone if you need to make dart tips for the blowpipe and you want to train some smithing and AFK at the exact same time. It can be a very good way to use your bars because you should have a ton of bars left over now that we have Giant's Foundry. So if you want to make yourself a ton of the dart tips, this can be a really good way, and the bank is pretty close if you do it here in Varrock. It's pretty much the same as cooking, right? A little bit more AFK even than cooking. So yeah, smithing is a great option if you want to AFK. Not the fastest XP in the world, but it can definitely add up to be a lot. Like I said, another extremely AFK way of training smithing is by making cannonballs. This will go on forever, but it's pretty good honestly with the double cannon mold. Now you actually make a decent amount. So yeah, as you can see, it will be a little bit less AFK if you use the double cannonball mold, but it will definitely add up, and you can make still a ton of money doing this method in today if you're a main account or something like that. I know a ton of people make cannonball alts and stuff, but it can be great if you want to train smithing on your Ironman account while watching a couple movies and then go do some Slayer tasks with the cannonballs that you made. Another really great option. Like I said, you're not going to get the most experience in the world, but you will make a ton of money. So the price of 2 steel bars is about 800 GP, and then cannonballs is 1200. So you're making money and training smithing. Now the next method on the list is fletching longbows. It's very similar to cooking where you just sit at a bank, but instead of cooking, you'll be fletching longbows. Again, another very profitable way of just AFKing, bank standing, and actually getting some pretty good fletching experience depending on the type of log that you do. Pretty much all of them, again, make a ton of money, and you could also string them. It's a lot less AFK, so I prefer to just cut the logs all the way to 99. It's great when you need an AFK. I did this back in college, believe it or not. Pretty much a full semester, I got to 99 fletching while just doing homework and assignments. I was just fletching on the side. A great method to do. Now the next one on the list is going to be combat and slayer, because there's a ton of slayer tasks that you can actually AFK, which makes it incredible. Depending on the task, depending on the location, is when and how you can actually AFK a creature, so it really honestly all depends on that. Some of my favorite creatures are like Bloodfields, for example. There's just tons of other ones that you can just sit back and AFK, attack the creature once and just sit and AFK, get a ton of them aggroed all to you at the exact same time, sit back and AFK. It could be a blast, a ton of experience, and you can be making a ton of money at the same time. Also, we have things like the Nightmare Zone, which once you set that up, you can AFK for 20 minutes at a time, which is just crazy to think about. It before the update, before they patched it, I'm pretty sure you could AFK to 6 hours. But yeah, the Nightmare Zone is another really good one. If you want to get some really quick melee range experience, you can do that there. Yeah, Slayer is another great skill that I actually AFK a ton, but not recently because I've been doing Boss Slayer, but most of the Slayer tasks you can AFK somewhat. It's great. Now for crafting, another skill that I trained back in college was honestly just making either unpowered staffs, lantern lenses, or the light orbs. It's the exact same as fish or cooking, and the exact same as fletching. You just sit at a bank and blow the orbs. You can get some actually really decent crafting experience, up to like 140,000 experience per hour, which just sounds crazy, but I was doing this while like doing assignments and lectures and stuff like that. It was just awesome. I gained so much crafting experience. It does take a lot of setup for Ironman accounts to get the molten glass, but it is definitely worth it. You can get some pretty good crafting experience, or if you make the unpowered orbs, you can almost just break even with crafting if you're a main account, which is actually crazy. I made a video about a year ago where you actually made a lot of money crafting them, but that quickly became unprofitable. But you still almost break even with that method, so it's pretty great. Yeah, honestly, crafting is a really great skill to AFK at a bank, and I might end up going for some post crafting experience just because it's super enjoyable at a bank, and it's really nice to see the orbs stack up in the bank. Let's see how many I have right now. It's going to be a decent amount, 119,000 of the light orbs that I've made, and I made a lot of the other ones too, like the unpowered orbs. Okay, so the next one on the list is going to be Thieving. Now, a ton of people say that Thieving is not really AFK, but it is so mindless that it is basically AFK. So you're going to want to come to a world like this, where there's a few people thieving the Arty Knights. Doesn't even have to be Arty Knights. There's so many different methods that you can do with that. And then you're going to want to change their attack option to left click for pickpocketing. So you put on the menu entry swapper plugin, and then you just right click him and click the swap, left click to pickpocket, and then you should just be able to left click this guy all day long, just spamming your mouse while watching movies and stuff like that. It doesn't really take too much focus and dedication. And now that they made the coin pouches stack up to, I'm not even sure, it's over 100 now that you can get with the Elite Diary. It's very great. It's very AFK. The thieving experience here is actually insane. Once you have 99 and you never fail and stuff like that, it's just a blast. You can make a decent amount of money here too. And I don't know about you, but I can just sit here and click while watching a movie, or I can't really do while editing, but while watching a movie or YouTube or something like that, I can just simply click here on the side. So it's not exactly AFK, but it's something I did when I wanted to AFK, if that makes any sense. So yeah, this is a great method overall. The XP here is just freaking phenomenal. And especially when you stop failing him, it just becomes amazing. Okay, the next one on my list is going to be rune crafting. It isn't 100% AFK, but I would say it's about 70% AFK to be completely honest, and the AFK time is pretty long. So all you have to do is once you have 77 rune crafting, you can start crafting blood runes, which again, you're going to make a ton of money from this method. Not as much as you used to, but you can still make a decent amount of money with this method. So all you actually have to do is come up to here and chisel the dense stone, and this is the part of it where it is super AFK. I did this back in college again, my final year at college, while doing assignments and homework. I was training rune crafting, got 99 on this account, and on my alt account, I think I got to 91 rune crafting, maybe 90, but I did that as well just because I like this method so much and it was so profitable. So whenever the stone turns black, you actually just have to go to the other stone, but they're so close together that you can just easily do it. And yeah, go ahead, fill your whole inventory up. Okay, once you've gathered yourself a nice full inventory, you just want to run up to here and basically turn them into stone that you can chisel. You'll get a little bit of rune crafting experience, but you can do this twice before you actually craft the runes, which makes it just a lot more AFK. And you can kind of like click this from here and just like do whatever you need to do on your other screen. It's a great way to train rune crafting. It's way better than running natures like we used to do back in 2008 and 2009. But anyways, you come up here, and this is a part where it's not really super AFK, but it doesn't take too long. You want to put your chisel down at the bottom here and then just spam click all of your inventory until you get it completely empty, and then just do one more rotation, and then it's time to craft up the runes. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, once you get your second inventory, you're just going to turn it into the dark stone again, and now for the brutal walk. Okay, so once you make it to the top here, this is why I say it's only about 70% AFK, because there is a little bit of work involved, so it's semi-AFK. All you have to do is craft your blood runes and then simply do the chisel method again. It does take a little bit of annoyance if you are trying to play like 2 accounts at once or something. It can be a little bit of upkeep, so maybe not the first thing you would choose to AFK, but you can definitely make some good rune crafting experience and some decent money. Not as good as it used to. It used to be about 100k a trip, now it's about 45k. That's pretty bad. And then just simply rinse and repeat. You'll get some good rune crafting experience over time, and the money does stack up and you get to keep it in the inventory. It's cool. I've done like 100,000 blood runes at once. Take that to the bank and it's just like, wow, I'm rich. Now, by far my absolute favorite AFK activity would be farming. And again, it's not fully AFK, but you can AFK for up to like 30 hours, you know, and then come back and check your trees or whatever they are. So whenever you plant a crop on the game, even if you log out, it is still growing and it's still making progress. So farming is by far my favorite AFK activity to do, because, you know, you put 10 minutes of work in, maybe 15, depending on the type of farming run that you do. And then, you know, you can log out for a week if you wanted to and then come back and harvest it. So it's probably the most AFK thing that I can actually think of in the game, and it's something that I consistently love doing just because it's a skill that you have to put a little bit of effort in, and then harvesting is where you get the bulk of the experience. So you can definitely make a ton of money farming. You can also lose a lot of money farming. It's just how you end up doing it will end up the result if you profit or not make a lot of money from it. I personally have always tried to profit with farming. Even back when I was playing a main account, I would say do my herb runs to cover the cost of the trees or whatever. You know, farming is a really cool skill, and it's kind of like a passive skill in a way. That's why I say it's probably my favorite AFK skill in the game, because again, it's not fully AFK, right? Even if you do something like tithe farm, it's not AFK at all. But yeah, farming is a great skill to AFK, and yeah, probably by far my top on the list, even though I said there wasn't a top. Okay, so now what are the benefits of AFKing skills on the game? Like I said, you can always be gaining progress. So how did I end up maxing my account, right? I wouldn't have been able to sit for that long and actually do it. So I did it while I was doing other activities, like back in college when I would need to do assignments or whatever, I would say be training rune crafting or cooking on my other monitor while I was like typing out an essay or something like that. Or if there's a new movie I want to watch, maybe an anime or something like that, I can just AFK on the other side, right? You know, sometimes like on a day off, I'll play Runescape for like 6 to 8 hours, and it's like, you don't want to just be doing raids the whole time or you'll go crazy. I can only do maybe 2 or 3 raids and then I'm like, okay, I'm done for the night type of thing, right? You don't want to just be doing the exact same thing all of the time. So it's really good to switch it up and do different types of content on the game. And I think having some AFK activities that you can go to all of the time and always do will help you kind of keep your goals in order, always be gaining progress on the game, even if you're not quote unquote playing the game, right? You're just AFKing it, you know. Something like Cannonballs, you could look at the screen, you know, like 20 times an hour, and that's it. Click a couple times and you know, you're making some progress along the way. And it's really cool. I love AFK grinds where you just stack up a ton of items. I think I've fished now in my bank, I've got about 74,000 raw Cannonballs, which is just absolutely crazy. And it goes to show you that AFKing can actually pay off in the long run. It's something that I always will do, and I think everyone should have a bunch of AFK activities that they can go to. So here is my top 10. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you went ahead and watched the whole video, comment tuna down in the comments below. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya later.